a good pot, weren't it, in the end? It was very, very thin, that one. Got a little bit fortunate with the cue ball, but it was all about pocketing the ball. There you see, look how thin that was.
Yeah, and I think very similar to a shot that he opened a match yesterday with that we talked about. Most players put a lot more speed on that thin cut shot, so pretty good sign for Albin here early that he's pretty calm.
Took him a couple of goes, but he's got there in the end. Albin Ouschan, the reigning champion, leads Abdullah Alyousef by 1-0.
That's the one I was afraid of, hitting it thin.
So the safety from Albin has got him back to the table. It's not an easy layout. This is the key shot of the rack, but this is what I was just talking about. Time and time again, puts his opponent in trouble and just waits for his opportunity.
Yeah, and I think he's close enough to this. He can really pull the cue ball a couple rails to short side on the 3. At least get to where if he can't go offensive on the 3, he has the safety. It's going to be a nice speed, I think. That's perfect.
Yeah, that shot there, JJ, is the shot where Abdullah's probably going to struggle more.
Right.
As opposed to Albin.
Yeah, Albin with that constant calm delivery, right? And he's really leaving off where, you know, or coming back where he left off yesterday against Filler. Looks like he's playing some type of safety. Playing your shot, Carl. All speed control, and it looks pretty nice.
It's frustrating for him, though, isn't it? He's dreamed all his life, I'm sure, of playing in a big match like a World Championship semi-final, and here we are in the 4th rack. He hasn't had a chance to get stuck in yet. Been restricted to just trying to contain his illustrious opponent so far.
I like him taking on that shot, though, even though it was delicate.
Pass stroke.
You won't see that very often.
Ball in hand. Start the clock, please.
These good safety shots that the players play often result in good things happening, and there you see as the cue ball falls off the table, the safety from Abdullah is giving ball in hand.
Does he have to go short side on the 6 right here?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking.
Oh, he's
that.
overcut this.
He's missed it though. He's missed the 5. This was all because he knew the line was heading towards that 6.
Yeah, of course he shouldn't have missed the 5, but that all started getting out of line a little bit on that 3 ball. And I thought it was a little bit of a funny shot getting on the 3. A little bit of a funny shot here. Can't really get to the right side of the cue ball. Oh, this spin gonna take. How nice is this?
That might be just about the best shot we've seen in this semi-final so far. So let's look at it again. Absolutely perfect judgment. And looking pretty ominous now.
Kind of reminds me of the mode he got in at the International last year. Really out there by himself. Just putting shot after shot together.
Yeah, that was in Virginia back in October. One of several titles in a stellar 2021.
Extension, please.
So as I said earlier, it was about controlling it, keeping his opponent at bay, waiting patiently. But he's stepping things up a bit now. It's back-to-back break and runs. The 9 wriggled just a little, but it didn't get off the hook. Albin Ouschan is not letting Alyousef off the hook here at all. It's 6-0.
I think he's played it pretty smartly as well, right? Making sure he may not get perfect on the two, but he wasn't ever getting snookered that way, right? So
this is a tester, though. He's already missed a 5-ball in this match. He's 6-0 down. You just knew, didn't you? You just know they're the shots. You know, when you've played this game, you know, in funny little angles, and you've not had much table time, they can really test the metal and test the mind, test the back arm.
Yeah, and these are worrying signs, aren't they?
Oh. Is this a good position he's in?
well, he's got a bank at least. I think he was going to get on top of the 6 otherwise.
Well, it's been a good effort, this.
Yeah, the crowd giving Abdullah a clap there. They don't want to see him lose 11-0, do they? They want to see a little bit of a fight back.
Yeah, he's passed up a couple of opportunities to get that first rack on the board. This wasn't straightforward. He's held himself together well. And finally, Abdullah Alyousef is off the mark. Albin Ouschan still has a massive lead, but it's now 8-1.
You would say it's an easy one to get behind the pink, but I think speed control kind of crucial.
Looks good.
Yeah, beauty.
He's still in this match, you know. I know it's been all about Albin Ouschan, and Abdullah's missed that 5-ball, didn't he? But he's still there. This is more than achievable. Just needs a shot after this kick shot, and then some form of package
Extension,
that we
please.
often talk about at pool, a 3 or a 4 pack. And listen, you can still be in this match, no problem.
Absolutely.
Well, as long as you're still out there, you can still win it. Can't win it back in your hotel room or in the bar or doing an interview. As long as you're still on the table, anything's possible.
And I just think these scenarios are hard to dodge after going down 8-0. Albin kicks so well. He does so many good things. I think Abdullah's going to have to run some racks. I think Albin's going to make it tough otherwise. Well, a little bit of an opening. Nothing easy here with the cue ball near the rail, but I kind of manage here and just roll this in and take the long shot on the pink.
Yeah, he does have an angle, doesn't he? So just pop your ball. Let the cue ball work over to the middle of the table.
Oh, he's elevating. I'll tell you what, he stayed pretty loose even though he trailed, 8-0 at one time.
Well, we always talk about it, don't we? The importance of getting that first rack. He had to wait a very long time for it, but he looks noticeably more comfortable now.
Another good starter.
Listen, this is what we've been talking about. Winner breaks. These are the things that can happen. This is why I'm a big fan of the winner break. Hate the alternate break, in fact.
Well, there's pros and cons to both, I think, but
Yeah, I knew you'd come with something like that, Jose. Just to ruin my moment.
being politically sound.
Needs to find the gap.
Oh, my. Kind of let up on that. A little bit of decel on the downswing.
Yeah, and all this momentum he's generated over the last few racks, that could really take the wind out of his sails. And if you'd said to him at the start of the match you're going to get beaten heavily, which he may not yet, of course, he would have thought, okay, I'm playing Albin
Extension,
Ouschan, that
please.
could happen. But when he looks back, that's about 3 or 4 shots now that really he just could not afford. Some bad misses.
We've seen the pockets have been generous this week, so he's favourite to make this shot. Like wearing a full pocket.
Yeah, he got a lot out of that. I think to make sure he drew past that side, he was trying to aim on the full side of the 1 ball, maybe.
It's another example, though, of That is not an easy shot. He's digging down. The 5 ball is in his eye line. He's got to judge the pace, and you know he's very underestimating this. It's another shot where a lot of other players can make a mess of that.
Well,
played it with a little bit of left English just to keep the cue ball an inch or two more to the left, wasn't it? Didn't look much, but
yeah, that little manipulation helps, right?
yeah.
And that's just a little instinct. You can feel it's just a little better that way, right? But when Albin, you know, like many of the top players, when he starts to look like he's kind of making the same delivery on every shot, you better watch out. You're not going to get many open looks.
So solid, isn't he? And after only about an hour and a quarter of play, Albin Ouschan is on the hill. He only needs one more rack.
Yeah, his final break off here in the semifinal. Doesn't want to back off. That's about perfect. The 1 ball. He's really got a nice line on the 1 a lot, right? And this looks very bad for our friend from Kuwait.
Yeah, this is the table layout Albin has got to create some history here at the World Pool Championships, as Michael alluded to before. He needs these 7 balls to be the first player in history to make 4 finals.
And it looks like he just comes across and plays the 2 in the lower left. No reason to really work the cue ball. The 5 is near the other side. The 6 is for the opposite side. So barring something that I've never seen before, I think we're going to have our first finalist here in a moment.
Yeah, Albin Ouschan doesn't miss these for matches. It just doesn't happen. More chance of you buying me a drink, JJ, than Albin missing these.
Yeah, right. Just a little top English to the rail with the cue ball. You can see just to stop your ball. He's going to make sure he can reach it how he wants as far as shooting the 7. But
yeah, he's not the tallest of fellas. He's Albin. Like JJ says, he'll probably just float down a little bit.
Just stun across, and you can see the 8 leads easily to the 9, which will lead Albin Ouschan to our 2022 World Pool Championship final.
Carlo Beato was the last defending champion to get to the final on his return back in 2018.
He probably just kills it here. He can come across. It's a bit of
Extension,
choice.
please.
It's been a great performance, this has to be said. Yeah, Abdullah's been a little bit shell-shocked out there, but Albin has done such a professional job here in this match.
Abdullah Alyousef did stage a mini revival, but in the end, for Albin Ouschan, it's been easy like Sunday morning. He's won by 11 racks to 3. He's in the final. He's the first player ever to get there 4 times. Now, can he emulate Earl Strickland and become the first player to successfully defend the title since the American did so all the way back in 1991? If he does so, he'll also match Strickland as a 3-time champion. No other players have ever done that.
Almost like it makes you pay attention a little more.
Yeah, nerves are going to be a part of this all the time, aren't they? So it's about finding a way, learning the techniques to turn that to your advantage.
Oh, that's a thick hit. Okay. So a couple of them shaky here in the first game, the 1 ball and the 3. But I've always talked about it. There's, you know, prepared nerves and there's unprepared nerves. And of course, this guy's going to be prepared. And I think those kind of nerves makes you do great things in sports. Doesn't always work out that way. And he's fallen a little funny on this last ball before the 9. Does he open up the stroke a little bit and really stun the ball over? I think that's probably what we're going to see. But maybe this first rack is exactly what I'm talking about. Not all of them went in perfect, but he's dealing with it.
Yeah, and that'll be reassuring to him that he's managed to overcome any early match nerves to comfortably take the opening rack. Shane Van Boening then leads Alexander Kazakis 1-0.
Doesn't want to keep the 7 and 9 contained together. Now, does this maybe fluke in 3 rails in the corner? Yeah, beauty.
So our first look at Alexander Kazakis. As we've said, the reigning World Masters champion, seeded 10.
A tough kick shot, but the one thing you can look at is the type of kick shot, not only being just inches away from the corner, but it's the type of kick that when you hit it, you make it a little more often than you would think. And the good thing is I wouldn't kick it this very hard. With the 7-9 the way they are, I don't want to lose accuracy. Plus, I can bump the 6 up on the side rail maybe. Get another turn at the table. Oh, this looks nice. Oh, unfortunate there with the cue ball. He didn't deserve that.
One hand. Start the clock, please.
Yeah, I thought the speed was correct. He just had to hit the numbers just right, getting behind that and sliding in the corner.
Making much impact.
And I understand shooting it. I thought he may kind of roll that a little bit, just go with a top English and try and just make the 5 ride the rail, take his chances. But
Attention, please.
Kazakis, a 2-time Mosconi Cup player for Europe.
Well, the cue ball should contact the 9. Doesn't want to hit it full. A piece of the 9's okay, but watch out for the side pocket he's near. Oh, he got by it. Lovely stroke there.
Well, I mentioned the first semi-final. Albin Ouschan had 8 racks on the board before Abdullah Alyousef registered. Kazakis can get off the mark here much earlier, and it looks like he's going to now. So Shane Van Boening led 2-0. Had to go with a tricky combination. If he'd made it, it would probably have been 3. But instead, Alexander Kazakis got back in. He's off and running now. He still trails at 2-1.
He's down pretty quick, isn't he, JJ? So that tells us he sees a shot.
Is he going to come 2 rails towards the 6? That way he can let the stroke out a little bit, take the
Attention,
cut on the
please.
3. I always labeled him and Bustamante the 2 greatest ever to shoot these thin cuts in the side with the light speed. Dodging scratches. Oh, he's overcut it.
It's the way commentary is, isn't it? You compare someone to Francisco Bustamante and then they let you down on the very next shot.
Well, that was nothing easy. I think he had to shoot it to the right side of the pocket, really, to avoid the scratch, and just overcut it a touch.
Beat Niels Fyan, Corey Jewell in consecutive rounds to get to the last 4 in 2018 and was 1 rack away from the world final. Lost 11-10 to Joshua Filler.
Yeah, and a not chip in 9 ball for his first lead.
1 rack away from the final then, 1 rack ahead in the semi-final now. Kazakis in front for the first time. It's 3-2.
Ever since he started really dominating. It seems to me You know, when he has those scrappy racks, that's when he really gets going.
Yeah, that 6-ball there, pros always play it with a little left English. That's where the amateurs don't do that. They try and play it centre ball, but I would think all the top pros would add a little left on it.
Yeah, it's a control feeling. It's not only correct, I think, a lot of times, but we don't play near as much center balls on the vertical axis as people think. It's almost like, you know, I kind of equate it to the golfers where we're trying to get the ball on the ground as quick as possible and run it up by the hole where they stay aggressive and spin the ball, right? So
Shane Van Boening runs out from the break for the first time since he did so in the opening rack. And he's back into the lead now at 4-3.
Just
no
never got
excuses,
settled at the beginning.
But you just made one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 13-8.
Well, it was a mild one, right? Yeah. It was a 13-8? Okay. Well,
yeah. Some
you
good
could
wins.
even add another game in there for me if you wanted, Michael. But
You beat Johnny Archer along the way. That was a good one.
Corey Deuel beat 2 or 3 of the Chinese Taipei players, and it was a funny year, '99. I made the U.S. Open final that year, and I got beat by Johnny Archer. So, you know, the guys that beat me in a few big finals were good friends. So
JJ knows how to play this game. That's for sure.
And so does this man, Shane Van Boening. 2 very good racks in a row here. And he's restored that 2-rack cushion he had earlier. It's now 5-3. Yeah, I remember it's about 15 years ago now, wasn't it?
Rack number
2006, I think.
Score is 5-3
I think Ronnie thought it was going to be a lot easier than it turned out to be for him, and
to break.
retreated back to snooker pretty soon after that.
Smart move.
Anyway, we just can't get enough of Shane Van Boening's breaking.
Well, that's the speed I think he needs to stick to. That's just a half a notch or notch lighter than he started the match. Oh, another golden break for SVB.
Wow, he had 2 in a row yesterday. Just 1 will do nicely here. He's 3 clear for the first time in this semi-final. That's 6-3. Always worth another look at the golden break. It's the 8 coming round, smacks it, and then it gets another little flip and just drops in at the last.
Yeah, and if he gets a little closer to the 6, it's going to make life easier. But it's not often you see players bumping balls, but he will do so if he knows he's 100% guaranteed. There you see how he's coming a little bit closer to the 6 now?
Absolutely, and when it makes sense to bump a ball, that's when you don't fear it, right? His gut is saying, yeah, this is the right thing to do.
Well, the first semi-final finished 11-3. I think we all agreed we were going to see a much closer contest this time. But the way this is going, with Van Boening just freezing out his opponent, the outcome could end up being exactly the same.
And Kazakis, of course, I wouldn't say just as capable of doing something like this, but very capable. But, you know, the guy that won the first semifinal, and of course the guy at the table now, maybe the most capable of running away with matches.
Such a difficult front runner.
Yeah, it's another rack gone by without Kazakis getting out of his chair. Shane Van Boening has won half a dozen racks straight now from 3-2 down. He leads 8-3.
That's why he put a little more speed on it. Can he get this to the left?
I think he's going to put the 3 down on the bottom rail near the 6.
Uh-oh. I don't know if this is enough speed. This is going to
line.
leave us straight in.
Yeah, it was the wrong line and everything, so it's a mistake.
Yeah, and that could be a really crucial error. He was just starting to get a bit of momentum, turn the tide in this match. He's just gifted this opening, you have to say, to SVB.
Yeah, the shot was touchy. Now, can he, I mean, is he
Attention,
definitely
please.
drawing this? Or can he follow off the 9 underneath the 5? Normally you want to draw this. This is how you want to pocket this ball, right, with the draw stroke. Shane had a 1 bar earlier he had to unload on, and didn't turn out so well, but
where's the cue ball?
Yeah, it's going to get lost.
Wow, big moments now in this match, in this semi-final.
Well, absolutely. Just when it looked as though Van Boening might be about to regain the initiative that slipped away from him a bit over the last couple of racks, he's handed it straight back.
Yeah, you could say a little on him and a little unlucky as well.
Yeah, the wing
Cue
ball's
ball.
wired.
Cue ball. See you later.
Oh, wow. Great call, Jeremy. Great call.
Ball in hand.
And he's made 4 on the break. Well, 5, including the white. But
Shane's got to move over to that side, surely.
Well, especially if he makes it through this match.
Yeah, he's got to go.
He's got to recognize that left side is really the place to be.
Would that be something you would say to him, or would you just leave him to it?
Well, no, I think we can talk about that for sure. Make the 2 get on the 3 and get behind the 8 with the cue ball, something like that. Not sure really what else he has. I think he's trying to make the 5. Yeah, like that. Why not try to create, right? Stay offensive.
It's a beautiful shot, it really is.
He could have come away with a lot easier shot or a little bit more of a pocket on the 2, because this is tight.
It's a great example, though. You know, it's 9-7. You're 8-3 up.
Extension, please.
You've seen Kazakis come back at you. It's the semi-finals, and he's really gone for it there, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, that's the mentality that wins 5 U.S. Opens. Oh, sweet shot there, because he didn't have an entire pocket at all. These pool players are so incredible, because just that first shot alone, I mean, you're never going to practice something like that. You have to go off sheer instinct.
Yeah, Kazakis was clapping on the chair then and all. He would have appreciated that shot there from Shane.
Well, and I really think the winter break format, you know, leans towards some of those creative shots, because you don't want your opponent back at the table, right?
It's taken him a good deal longer than it looked as though it might, but Shane Van Boening has made it to the hill. He's 1 rack away from his 3rd appearance in a World Championship final.
Just got to watch out putting any side spin with the 8 there. Oh, he went for the cut. He went for the cut. I don't blame him, but I thought he may play the kick behind the ball there, Carl. I don't blame him, though, right? He had a shot at the 2, so.
Yeah, these balls are sat good, you know. This is a great chance for SVB to get to the final. I know what you're saying.
Because it is a tricky shot from the 7 to the 8.
What's he going to try and play here, JJ? Is he just going to try and...
I think he's going to come up to the center. That way he can play 2 rails back.
Okay.
Maybe the draw stroke on the 7.
Yeah, just off straight.
Yeah.
Wants to be just off straight. He's good here, you know.
He's perfect.
Yeah, he can
He's
go off
perfect.
the rail with left low English. That'll pull the cue ball.
Yeah,
back
no worry
down.
of the side pocket at all. And the draw stroke is really something that's used a little more out on the slick table, right?
Yeah, look at that. He's absolutely perfect on this.
Yeah, well, that shot right there just told you how well this man has played, and we're going to get the final. You know, nothing against Kazakis, but I'm going to get the final I wanted. I know that.
Shane Van Boening's been in 2 of them before and lost them both. He said earlier this week that the day he finally wins the World Championship will be the happiest day of his life. And that day might just be the 10th of April 2022, because tonight he's going to party like it's 2016. That was the year he played Albin Ouschan in the World Final. The Austrian beat him to become champion for the first time. Tonight he'll have to overcome the American again to become champion for a record-equaling third time. Shane Van Boening is one match away from achieving that dream which has remained out of his reach until now. He's beaten Kazakis 11-7, and he is in the World Championship final.